money. He needs this win tonight against a young fighter, Kastriot Sopa from Germany, just 20 years old. So that'll be an interesting matchup. A lot of people across the country that have heard and followed Eric Fowler have wondered what has happened to him. He told me before the first fight that he lost earlier this season, the first fight of the season. He had not really trained very well for 6 months, and so he had a lot of distractions. He got married, so we'll get right to it. So let's get our announcements as we set up our second fight of the evening in the lightweight division. Here's our ring announcer, Mr. Durst.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our first fighter to the ring. Representing the German Eagles, Kastriot Sopa.
Kastriot Sopa, taking a look very, very young, but he's done everything he can in the youth championships in Germany. He's the youth champion there. Well, excuse me, he won silver this year, but in 10 and 11 he won the gold medal there. He likes to come out throwing, and he beat Eric Fowler earlier this year, so he knows what he's up against this evening. 1-1 last time out. He lost his last fight out, but I think the key thing there is that he's 20.
Right, and I was impressed with him when I saw him fight Fowler the first time. And remember, this is in our second bout of the evening, is our second set in the rematch that we talked about earlier tonight. Two of these bouts being rematches, and I was pretty impressed with Sopa in that first fight. I think he has a lot of ability, and he's got a lot of size too, which really helps him in this division.
And now, let's welcome his opponent from your USA Knockouts, Eric Fearless Fowler.
In his first season, Eric Fowler was ranked in the top 3 in the lightweight division, and I know some professional organizations, promotional organizations that were looking at him. So he needs to turn it around, Rich. I mean, he's really had a rough go. He had those 3 TKOs were 2 seasons ago. And they came one right after the other.
That's right, and sooner or later that reputation goes away. He lost the first fight. Again, it was competitive with this fight with Sopa, and he's going to need a little bit more. And again, this crowd may help push him over the top here tonight.
He has power, obviously, but somehow he's lost some confidence. He was one of the most engaging personalities we had. He's pressing himself a little bit. He's concerned about his training. He's already talking to the cameras, you see there. He'll talk all night long.
Oh, yeah. I can remember after his last fight, he looked right into the camera and said, "I'm the most ruthless lightweight in the world."
There's Sopa.
I'll tell you later.
All right, let's set it back to our ring announcer.
Our next bout of the evening is 5 rounds in the lightweight division. Out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks, weighing in at 134 pounds, he has a record of 1 win with 1 defeat. Fighting out of Germany, Kastriot Sopa. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks, he weighed in at 133 pounds. With a record of 0 wins and 2 losses, fighting out of Houston, Texas, USA, Eric Fearless Fowler. The third man in the ring for your contest is Russell Mora. The judges for this contest are Bert Clemens, Pat Chalene, and Herb Santos.
Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. God bless, touch up.
Mora. The referee is Russell Mora. First round scheduled for 5, lightweight division. Fowler in the red trunks. He comes in with a lead left inside hook and just got tagged with a combination upstairs. Sopa bearing right in right off the bat. And Fowler standing right there taking all those headshots.
You know, I was looking at Sopa in his corner, and that look, that steely-eyed look he was giving, showed a guy who was intent on coming right out and causing damage here tonight.
And he sure did, and Fowler was right there for him. You mentioned the height advantage. This is a tall and big, rangy lightweight.
And it's interesting because Fowler really feels that Sopa was going to run from him tonight. He said, Fowler said he was going to push the fight, but he was afraid that Sopa was just going to run away from him. That was not the case.
Well, he got tagged 3 or 4 times in the first 10 seconds right there.
We'll get it back, Eric. Keep working. Perfect. Keep your chin down. Don't stand in front.
Just got tagged with a right left.
Move my head, Eric. Keep my defense.
And Sopa's head hunting.
Use the jab.
Another right hand.
Use the jab. Don't walk in without the jab.
Another right hand.
Now Fowler beginning to get something together here, maybe perhaps finding some rhythm countered.
You gotta move my head, Eric. You gotta move my
Like
head.
I said, I've seen him for 3 seasons. He's always had a problem standing right there and not enough head movement, Rich. And like I said, his training was off this year, and he needs a win tonight. There's no doubt about it. For his spirits and for the fact that he had such high hopes 2 seasons ago, but he's got a tough customer there. This guy is one of the leading youth athletes in Germany, and they have high hopes for Sopa. They'll speak a lot about him on the internet and what he can do as a lightweight. And you know, to carry a body like that as a lightweight, he looks sort of like, you know, even toward a middleweight, really, the way he looks in the ring.
Sopa's dominating this first round.
Absolutely. Doing pretty much anything he wants to do.
Now Fowler did not really respect the punching power of Sopa. I talked to him, I said, what about his height? And he seems to have a lot of size over you. And he says, you know, I can walk through his punches. I really feel that I can walk through his punches because his punching power is not that much.
45 seconds left in round number 1, which has been dominated by the German.
You gotta use my jab. You gotta use my jab.
Warning about the clashing of the heads. They're going to get right in there and stand toe-to-toe is what Fowler wants.
Fowler said he's going to have to give him some different looks in this fight compared to the first fight in order to try to improve just a little bit, enough to get the victory here this evening. But the looks he's come out with so far in the first round have not been working.
No. Stop. Pick up the speed. Pick up the speed. Hand speed. Use my jab. Use my jab.
Fowler finally landing a little bit there at the end. The southpaw, he doesn't want to be on the road. Oh, he just got hit with a real hard right hand. Fowler looking, but he got worked over, Rich, that first round, I'm telling you. Now, if he said he could walk through the punches, he certainly tested that theory in that first round.
Yeah, well, he's still standing, but I tell you,
Boxer, rauslassen. Wenn du mal regelst, wenn du rausgehst, wenn kommt, hast du Boden direkt. Wenn du reingehst, schau mal der Rechte mal auf.
A lot of concern over there, I'm sure, because he just doesn't seem to have any kind of a rhythm he gets into. He gets hit a lot and tries to counter. I'd like to see him throw some body punches, but that's not in his repertoire that I've seen in 3 seasons.
first round, a great round for Sopa. As the round came to an end, the two are mixing it up. And as the round came to an end, that first round, you saw Sopa really open up, tag Fowler, and that led to the two with a nice little stare down, pose down there at the end of the round. Now Fowler may feel like he's going to have to do something here to dramatic. I mean, in terms of maybe trying to rough up Sopa, throw him off balance.
And you've got the righty-lefty thing going too, so Moro's going to have, the referee's got his hands full watching for headbutts because they're going to get in close. Nice little uppercut there from Sopa. Got a little swelling over the right eye, below the right eye of Fowler.
Let me give you one little other mitigating circumstance. As we told you in that first fight, you know, Simpson had fought the last fight without headgear for the first time, and he was more comfortable in that situation here this evening. Now in the last fight between Fowler and Sopa, Fowler claims that he had a bad rib. and he had to hold his hands down too low that entire fight to try to protect the rib. So he said, I'm going to hold my hands up higher tonight, and he felt that that would be a difference, but hasn't been so far. But at least he should be more comfortable in there.
Yeah, the rib, he pointed out, is on the right side of his lead hand, his left-handed. Just about halfway down his torso. Said it still bothers him.
Perfect, good hand movement. So look for the shots big. We need combinations.
A nice little chopping right hand there from Sopa.
Good body shot.
The thing is, I think Eric may have really misjudged the style that Sopa was going to use on him tonight. I mean, he was so sure that Sopa was going to try to run from him in this fight. He told me that, he said, when we looked at the ring, he said, this is a really big ring. He's going to use it. He'll be running. He goes, I'd much rather fight him in a phone booth.
Well, look at the confidence of Sopa. Young German, he's really looking just to tee off right now. He has, he's looking at the referee right now. His confidence is growing. He's really dominated. There's no doubt about it. There's no other way to say it. Got blood trickling out of the mouth of Eric Fowler.
Perfect, sir. Come on. Keep the defense up.
Sopa, one thing I really like about him is that you know, with European fighters, a lot of times they get a rap, Alan, that they're stiff, that they're upright, that they're not loose and more relaxed. But you can see Sopa's an athlete in there. I mean, he's not that way. He's not stiff at all. He punches at you from different angles, can move around the ring.
He's a load. You see Fowler getting gassed already from the punishment he's taken.
Come on, Eric.
Warning about the hold.
Keep my hand moving, use my
14 seconds left in round number 2.
There you go, perfect. Jab, hand moving. Get ready. Stop.
Yeah, the German coming to the States and making a statement so far in the lightweight division.
Hand movement, time.
Yeah, this guy's the full package. Take a look inside the German corner right now. German coach Valentin Salagi. He was a bronze medalist in 1980 for Romania. The Moscow Olympics that he did not attend.
Yeah. And he's been part of the development of really great pro fighters like Darius Matuszewski, who was a tremendous light heavyweight champion, Sven Otke, another champion.
We should mention also there's a Fowler that this German team, they had a very the second season they brought him under the auspices of the German Boxing Federation. That's why they were able to bring in such a great coach like Valentin Salagi. Action from round number 2 here.
Fowler trying to put it together with body shots. Landed a good combination, but again, Sopa ending the conflict in terms of the two exchanging with a good solid right hand.
Round number 3, you think Sopa's got maybe a stoppage on his mind here? I mean, it's getting pretty rough for Fowler in there heading into this 3rd round.
Well, I thought Eric did better in the 2nd round than he did in the 1st, but it certainly wasn't enough for him to win the round. He's going to, in my opinion, he's going to have to take 3 straight rounds here.
I don't know if he has enough gas in the tank to do that.
I see Sopa as a guy whose style is going to be very good in the pro ranks.
It looks like he could adjust to any type of style, you know, even fighting against the Mexican fighters or more fleet-footed movement fighters like Puerto Rican fighters, power fighters like we're getting out of the Philippines. Nice little left hand right there that staggered Sopa a little bit. I think that was more of a footwork thing, but Fowler did land a good punch.
Nonetheless, it got a rise out of the crowd, too, you know, and that encourages you.
Yes. He's going to need a few of those. Sopa pouring straight in with a right hand right there that was effective.
Work, champ. Work inside. Move hands. Hold your hands up, work. Come on, ref. Stop.
I knew Moore was going to have to step in eventually there.
I don't know if Sopa has any inside game to speak of yet, but I do see him as an accurate puncher, you know, with quick hands, who likes to be on the outside. If he can develop an inside game, he's going to be, as you put it, Alan, a load.
He is. He's got that nice right hand that just snuck in there. The thing is he's a rangy type fighter with a lot of power.
Certainly got Fowler's attention with that last shot.
Yep. Well, I got to give Fowler credit. He's in there throwing and taking a lot of heat. Nice left hand right there, the crowd liked. Sopa coming back from that shot. Fowler's just going to let it go now. We got a fight on our hands.
And Eric did pretty well inside there. When he's within punching distance, again, he's having to deal with this, with a guy who's bigger than he is. He's getting close, and he's landing some shots. Well, that's some great work by Fowler up on the ropes. He's been getting away from Sopa's punches and landing his own. What exactly was that?
I don't know. I think it was hit me again. That's Fowler. Yeah, Eric likes this. Always amazes me when fighters seem to be taking the most punishment. That's when they'll pull out. Okay, hit me again. I'll take it. That means he's a fighter at heart. I don't know if the coach over here in the German corner is liking the way that Sopa's kind of showboating himself and dropping his hands by his side, and I think he's getting admonished quite a bit right here, don't you think? What are you doing?
Very possibly, yeah. He's getting an earful.
Kenny Katende on the right there, who we wanted to see fight tonight, the young man from Uganda.
He's a light heavyweight, but he will actually get into the ring tonight because, to get the point for the United States. He did weigh in yesterday, showed up at the weigh-in, even though his opponent could not make it here for whatever problems existed. And so he did weigh in officially yesterday, and he will get into the ring here tonight.
Okay, this got interesting toward the end of round number 3. Round number 4, let's see if Fowler can get the brawl for it all here that he wants, because that's his best shot. I think he lost the first 2 rounds as Rich Murata had. He may have gotten some love from the judges in that last round, or he may in a position right now that he needs to get a knockout. I don't know if Sopa's going to acknowledge. You notice Sopa's been a tad more cautious than he was in those first 2 rounds, keeping his distance. Eric trying to get inside those long arms and do his damage.
And that's where it is best. He's got to be within punching range. When Sopa establishes that outside style and that outside fight, there's little Fowler can do to contend with it.
He's got to work his way into it. That's what he's trying to do. And more warning him against the holding and leading with the head. But it's a righty-lefty thing. And they step on each other's toes, of course. When that just right there, Fowler just pulled a classic move. He stepped on the left foot of Sopa and threw a punch.
Hey, it works.
It works.
Chuck Wepner scored a knockdown of Muhammad Ali that way, inspiring the Rocky movie.
Exactly.
We're in Reno, Nevada, which has a long history of boxing, including one of the most famous boxing matches of all time, and with great sociological impact in the United States, when Jack Johnson fought Jim Jeffries, just about a mile from here, actually.
They built a stadium out there for that fight.
A little over 100 years ago, and now, and now Eric Fowler. I tell you,
it's fun to watch.
I tell you, even if he loses, he makes it fun to watch.
Yes.
Although Russell Moore doesn't seem to be having a great deal of fun. He's not laughing at it.
Well, he's kind of lured the German into a little bit of showmanship too. You see him hold his hands right there on his knees. Sopa's he's not having a lot of it. He knows that he's got more skill than Fowler, but Fowler wants to get in there inside if he can. I'll have to say that Eric looked better the last 2 rounds than he did the first 2, for sure. I don't think, as Rich pointed out, he was expecting Sopa to come out and jump on him like he did.
What Sopa's doing in there now is what he expected.
Exactly.
Dancing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's staying away. He didn't do that the first 2 rounds.
But Sopa may have also seen that when Fowler gets within punching range, he's more dangerous.
Exactly. Well, Fowler certainly has the heart for this sport. He's one of those fighters that if he had the right trainer, Rich, and could put 100% into it, you'd get everything he has out of it. He's going to give you everything he has. There's no doubt about it.
Right, and obviously Fowler is a kid who enjoys combat. I mean, he likes being in there, and he's having fun. I mean, although it's hard to imagine that the kind of headshots he just took were fun, but look at him. Look how he reacted to it. And if this guy gets the right training and development on the way up, he can be a very effective professional.
Once again, he's just 20 years old, and he has dominated all the youth competition in Germany, which is a country that absolutely is in love with the sport of boxing right now because of the influence of the Klitschko brothers. They fight in front of sold-out houses over there, Germany and Eastern Europe. It's really a big rise in the athletes I've seen in 3 years, from the Ukraine to Germany to Eastern Europe, that's really taken us. Boxing is not on a downswing, it's on an upswing in that part of the world.
Very true. You can just tell by some of those crowds that, as you mentioned, the Klitschkos, but also Carl Froch, Kessler, those fighters over there, the kinds of crowds they draw to stadiums. I mean, 50, 60,000 people.
Both these guys have to be a bit spent, especially the German traveling all the way across the world like he has. That's always a factor. You got to remember the travel factor too.
And keep in mind also we're at elevation here. This is the elevation at Reno, 4,500 feet. So there is the altitude to take into consideration.
150 left in this fight. I think we've got a situation where Sopa, he's doing just enough right now and not allowing Fowler to land the big shot. Fowler's trying to work his way in there. As many shots as he took in the first 2 rounds, it seemed that Fowler got more clarity as he went along. He looked a little staggered early, and now he seems just fine and dandy in this 5th round.
And I think one thing also, too, is that Sopa built up that big early lead, knew he was in command, and kind of relaxed a little bit at that point.
Oh, big right hand right there. Sopa just landed a right hand that Fowler, he really took it well.
And remember, we're in Nevada, and Fowler pushes down Sopa. We are in Nevada where there is no standing 8 count here, so it wasn't like the Russell Mora was going to jump in there and give Fowler a standing 8. And these fighters have an extensive amateur background behind them when they used to get standing 8 counts in those situations.
I think that punch might have put a bow on the evening for the German. I think that might have closed it out for him. Fowler's got 30 seconds to do something spectacular, but I think Sopa's too smart to let him do it.
And because this is strictly a professional fight now, the fighters don't get the luxury of that standing 8 count that they used to in the amateurs.
Final 10 seconds in the fight.
Eric still wants to mix it up. Look at him.
All the way to the end. Well, they put on a good show.
Sopa wants to be a sportsman, and Fowler
wants to fight.
Wants to still fight. And Sopa kind of laughs it off as he goes across the ring. And I believe, in my opinion, that he should win a solid decision here tonight.
Well, he stepped it up a notch from the first fight. The learning curve bent toward Kastriot Sopa tonight from the first meeting that we saw in Germany. It was a good. I'm very impressed with the guy. 20 years old. He looks like he's been in there a lot longer than he has as a professional. His only 2nd fight without headgear, and he might be something that they're developing out of Eastern Europe in the lightweight ranks. Show a little bit of the action here and what happened.
Sopa in this last round was staying strictly flat-footed, was punching with real bad intentions, as you see there. I mean, he was coming forward and just belaboring Fowler into the ropes. Now, Fowler was able to throw him back and throw him over. and then turned on the showmanship as well. But that right hand, you see, that was a scorching right hand, Alan.
Yep.
That backed up Fowler.
Well, you can see why people love to see Eric Fowler fight. He just hasn't gotten the results. Don't believe he's going to get them tonight. Let's take you through the fight.
There was Sopa. Sopa, you could see, was all business at the start of the fight. Look at that look on it. Steely-eyed look.
He was so sharp early.
Right. He just came out. And this is, I think, he took Eric Fowler completely by surprise because he came out punching. This is first-round action. And Fowler thought that he was going to run from it. That is not running, folks.
He must have heard your interview.
And so I think, that Fowler got taken by surprise here early and had trouble adjusting to a much more aggressive style from Sopa this second time around. And then in the third round, Eric started to get into the fight a little bit, started to exchange, but still the harder punches were being landed by Sopa.
Yep.
And he drove him into the ropes there in that fifth round with a very decisive exchange.
After 5 rounds, we go to the scorecards for a decision. Judge Pat Celine sees the fight 50-45. Judge Bert Clements sees the fight 50-45. Judge Herb Santos has the fight 49-46. All for your winner, Kastriot Sopa.
Well, one judge was generous enough to give 1 round to Eric, but I can see a shutout.
I think that third round might have been Eric. Well, it was either the third or the fourth round that he got. And there's Sopa. And the crowd expressing, and I'm glad to see this, their appreciation for what Sopa brought to the table here tonight. He bows to all 4 sides of the ring. This is a kid, I think, who has a very good future ahead of him.
Well, I'll say this much. I've seen, for 3 seasons, I've seen over 300 fighters. And in this division, I've seen probably 60. And right now, that was one of the best performances in